The National Transportation Safety Board, NTSB, released thousands of pages of evidence on the January plane crash near Washington's Reagan National Airport, including new video footage. The crash killed 67 people and involved a regional jet and an Army helicopter. Families of the victims broke down in tears as officials played the video during a 3-day investigative hearing. The NTSB will focus on air traffic control, collision avoidance systems, and safety management systems during the hearings. Doctors in Russia continued surgery on a patient despite a powerful magnitude 8.8 earthquake striking the Pacific coast on July 30, 2025. The earthquake triggered tsunami warnings across the Pacific Rim and caused widespread destruction. The doctor's decision to continue surgery was made to save the life of the patient, who required urgent medical attention. A man and 2 children were killed in a large explosion at Horizon Biofuels, a manufacturer of fuel pellets and animal bedding in Fremont, Nebraska. The incident occurred on July 29, 2025, with search efforts hindered by the fire and structural concerns. Crews continue to battle an active fire, assessing how to safely access the building to recover the victims. The cause of the explosion remains under investigation. A motorist drove through a flooded tunnel at Detroit Metro Airport on July 30, 2025. Severe thunderstorms caused flash flooding in the area. The incident occurred as severe weather conditions affected parts of the eastern United States, with heat and humidity posing a threat to multiple regions. A stray kitten who went viral after boarding a New York City subway train last week has been adopted by a fellow commuter. The kitten, whose name is not specified, was spotted on the train and captured the hearts of many with its adventurous spirit. According to reports, the kitten's new owner is a kind-hearted individual who took it in and provided it with a loving home. The incident highlights the resilience and adaptability of stray animals in urban environments. A pilot, Justin Schertz, surprised his grandmother Carolyn with a special announcement on her flight to Chicago. The surprise was part of the airline's efforts to make travel more enjoyable for passengers. This heartwarming moment highlights the importance of human connection in our daily lives. Senator Tom Cotton, chair of the Senate Intelligence Committee, has called on the Justice Department to investigate former special counsel Jack Smith over allegations that he unlawfully took political actions to influence the 2024 election against President Donald Trump. Cotton accused Smith of speeding up trial dates and publishing information with no legitimate purpose, including filing a brief following the Supreme Court's decision regarding presidential immunity just over a month out from the election. He also charged that Smith skirted the normal appellate process and failed to articulate a legitimate reason for his request when he demanded a trial before the forthcoming election day. Cotton argued that these actions were not standard, necessary, or justified unless Smith's real purpose was to influence the election. The Supreme Court revealed on Wednesday that Ghislaine Maxwell's appeal to her sex trafficking conviction will be among the many cases the High Court reviews at a closed-door conference in September. The public could learn whether the High Court plans to review Maxwell's case within days or weeks of that date. If the Supreme Court were to deny Maxwell's petition, she would have no appeal options left. If the High Court were to grant it, that means it would review Maxwell's arguments that she was improperly prosecuted. To protect your personal information, make a few quick changes to your phone settings. Limit ad tracking, turn off lock screen previews, audit app permissions, keep Bluetooth off when not in use, and enable automatic software updates. These simple tweaks can significantly boost your phone's security. Democratic Representative Ricchetti revealed that he is no longer on speaking terms with some family members due to his strong support for Israel. At the Israel on Campus Coalition Summit, Torres expressed frustration with the Israeli government's messaging and acknowledged real starvation in Gaza. He stated that while he doesn't hold Israel responsible for the famine, he believes the country should do more to ease human suffering in Gaza. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, Denver, NY, invoked a century-old law known as the Rule of Five to demand that President Donald Trump's Department of Justice and the FBI release the Jeffrey Epstein files. The federal law requires the executive branch to comply with requests from any 5 senators on the Homeland Security Committee. Schumer argued that the public has a right to know who enabled, knew of, or participated in one of the most heinous sex trafficking operations in history. He pointed out that Attorney General Pam Bondi and FBI Director Kash Patel promised transparency but failed to deliver. The DOJ did not immediately respond to a request for comment from Fox News Digital. The White House has hit back at Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, DNY, calling him a professional gaslighter after he claimed that Republicans want to revert to Jim Crow by requiring an ID to vote. Schumer made the comments during a press conference on Tuesday, where he also slammed the Trump-backed One Big Beautiful Bill, which was passed and signed into law earlier this month. The White House spokesperson, Harrison Fields, mocked Schumer's statement, saying that it is extremely insulting to black people and poor people. Schumer's comments have been widely criticized by conservatives on social media, with some calling for him to abdicate his leadership role. President Donald Trump told reporters that the Secret Service is handling matters related to an incident where a Secret Service agent allegedly attempted to smuggle his wife onto a cargo plane accompanying him on his trip to Scotland. The White House did not immediately respond to a request for comment on whether Trump had been briefed on the matter or on the investigation. A personnel investigation is underway, according to the Secret Service. Senate Democrats, led by Senator Chris Coons and Senator Chuck Schumer, accused President Donald Trump of making steep concessions to Beijing by refusing to allow Taiwanese President Lai Ching-te to visit the U.S. and allowing China to purchase Nvidia chips. The group claims the Trump administration has ceded leverage in trade talks without gaining any real breakthrough in negotiations. The U.S. and China concluded their third round of high-level trade talks on Tuesday, ahead of an August 12 deadline, after which the steep China tariffs Trump announced in April are expected to kick in. The FBI used facial recognition software to identify Robert Jacob Hoops as a suspect in the injury of an ICE officer during protests in Portland, Oregon on June 14. According to a criminal complaint, Hoops allegedly threw a rock that hit an ICE Enforcement and Removal Operations ERO officer in the face, causing significant injury. The wound allegedly bled profusely to the point of obstructing his vision. Following the rock-throwing incident, Hoops was allegedly seen with 2 other individuals using the metal pole of a stop sign as a makeshift battering ram. An official quote to replace the door was $7,747.72. Hoops is set to be arraigned on August 15 and faces up to 20 years in federal prison for the assault charge and up to 10 years for the property damage charge. The FBI and Department of Justice have confirmed an open federal investigation into the brutal downtown beating in Cincinnati that went viral online. 3 people have been arrested and charged with assault and rioting charges. The incident occurred on July 28, 2025, outside a nightclub in the city's business district. Video footage shows a group of people savagely assaulting 2 others during a confrontation. The investigation is ongoing, with Attorney General Pam Bondi and the DOJ involved. Senate Judiciary Chair Chuck Grassley, Iowa, refused to budge on the long-standing practice of allowing senators to veto district court and U.S. attorney nominees in their home states, despite President Donald Trump's pressure to end it. Trump called the practice probably unconstitutional and accused Democrats of using it to block his nominations. However, Grassley defended the tradition, saying it impacts the district judges who serve local communities and the U.S. attorneys who ensure law and order is enforced. Steve Ricchetti, a longtime Democratic operative and lobbyist, is sitting down with House Oversight Committee investigators Wednesday. He's known as a member of former President Joe Biden's inner circle, who reportedly played a key role in downplaying concerns about the ex-commander-in-chief's mental fitness for office. The New York Times was accused of journalistic malpractice after admitting an emaciated child displayed on the front page as evidence of famine in Gaza had a pre-existing condition unrelated to the conflict with Israel. The paper's editors note that Mohammed Zakaria al-Mutawak, 18 months old, suffers from severe malnutrition due to a pre-existing health problem, not starvation caused by the war. Critics argue that the Times' initial story was misleading and incomplete, and that the admission of the child's condition is insufficient. People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals, PETA, has filed a lawsuit against the Maine Lobster Festival, calling the steaming of lobsters egregiously cruel. The group argues that the festival's method of steaming live lobsters is a violation of Maine law, prohibiting animal torture and torment. PETA is seeking a permanent injunction to stop the steaming of live lobsters at the festival. In response, the Maine Lobster Festival and Rockland Festival Corporation have denied the allegations, stating that their methods follow widely accepted culinary practices. Laura Dahlmeier, a two-time Olympic gold medalist, has died at the age of 31 due to injuries sustained from a mountaineering accident in northern Pakistan. The German biathlete was struck by falling rocks in the Karakoram Mountains at an altitude of nearly 19,000 feet. Early rescue efforts were made, but were unsuccessful due to inclement weather and further risks of falling rocks. Dahlmeier won gold medals at the 2018 Winter Olympics in Pyeongchang, where she made history as the first female biathlete to win a sprint and pursuit double at the same games. She also won 7 world championships and an Olympic bronze medal. IOC President Kirsty Coventry expressed her condolences, stating that Dahlmeier's passing is deeply shocking for the Olympic movement. Media mogul Oprah Winfrey is pushing back against accusations that a private road on her Maui estate was closed during a tsunami evacuation. A spokesperson for Winfrey said the claims are not true, stating that local law enforcement and FEMA were contacted to ensure the road was opened as soon as possible. The road will remain open as long as necessary to allow residents to flee to safety. This is not the first time Winfrey's property has been at the center of scrutiny, with 2 men arrested last June for allegedly hunting on a public road that runs through her property. Minnesota Twins relief pitcher Jhoan Duran, 27, has been pitching to a minuscule 2.01 ERA in 49 outings this season. With the trade deadline on Thursday at 6 p.m., reports have circulated that Duran could be moved along with other players like Carlos Correa and Harrison Bader. The Twins are likely sellers at the deadline, and closer Jhoan Duran is all but a guarantee to be traded. A camera caught Duran hugging bullpen catcher Frank Nigro during a game Tuesday, prompting speculation about a potential trade. U.S. President Donald Trump has announced that he will not extend the August 1st tariff deadline for several key nations, including Canada, Mexico, Taiwan, and South Korea. The countries are facing major tariff hikes without trade agreements. Trump warned in a letter to Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney that a 35% tariff would be imposed if a deal is not struck. Similar letters were sent to Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum and South Korean President Lee Jae-myung. Taiwan has yet to reach a trade deal with the U.S., but Taipei has a delegation in Washington hoping to secure one before August 1st. The deadline for China was initially set for August 12th, but Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick said it could be extended further. Trump also threatened a 25% tariff on Indian goods and a massive 50% blanket tariff on Brazilian goods. The Washington Post editorial board slammed Obama-appointed U.S. District Judge Indira Talwani's decision to block an act of Congress by issuing a preliminary injunction to revoke Congress's decision to divert Medicaid funds away from abortion providers like Planned Parenthood. The Post argued that Republicans diverted federal funds from abortion providers fair and square, and a district judge's decision to rule against the spending cut damages the separation of powers. The tax and spending bill signed into law on July 4th contains a provision stating that as of October 1st, certain tax-exempt organizations that perform abortions can no longer receive reimbursements from Medicaid. Planned Parenthood promptly sued the federal government after the bill became law, as they stood to lose a sizable chunk of their federal funding. Talwani agreed with Planned Parenthood and ruled that the provision is an unconstitutional bill of attainder, which imposes legislative punishment on a specific group without judicial trial. Fox News Media, Fox News Media, Fox Business, Fox Nation, Fox News Audio, Fox Weather, Outkick, Fox Noticias, Books, Fox News, U.S. Crime, Immigration, Terror, True Crime, Brian Kohberger, Karen Reed, Politics, Donald Trump, Senate, House, Judiciary, Foreign Policy, Fox News Polls, Elections, World, UN, Conflicts, Terrorism, Disasters, Global Economy, Environment, Religion, Scandals, Opinion, Media, Fox Nation Coverage, Entertainment, Exclusives, Country Music, Royal Families, Diddy Blake Lively, Game Shows, Hot Videos, Sports, NFL, College Football, MLB, NASCAR, IndyCar, NBA, NHL, Golf, Tennis, FIFA World Cup, 26, UFC, WWE, Lifestyle, Maha, Health, Travel, Food and Drink, Games and Quizzes, Deals, Fox Business, Personal Finance, Economy Markets, Watch List, Lifestyle Real Estate, Tech, Science and Tech, Air and Space, Security Innovation, Video Games, Military Tech, Planet Earth, Wild Nature. Games 5, Across the Letter Word Game, Downwards, Sudoku, Word Swap, Word Search, Icon Match, Daily Crossword Puzzle, Mini Crossword Puzzle, Watch Live, Fox News Shows, Programming Schedule, On-Air Personalities, Full Episodes, Show Clips, News Clips, About, Contact Us, Careers, Fox Around the World, Advertise with Us, Media Relations, Corporate Information, Compliance, Apps and Products, Fox News Go, Fox Weather, Fox Nation, Fox Noticias, Fox News Shop, Fox News Radio, Outkick, Newsletters, Podcasts, U.S. Crime, Immigration, Terror, True Crime, Brian Kohberger, Karen Reed, Politics, Donald Trump, Senate, House Judiciary, Foreign Policy, Fox News Polls, Elections, World, UN, Conflicts, Terrorism, Disasters, Global Economy, Environment, Religion, Scandals, Opinion, Media, Fox Nation Coverage, Entertainment, Exclusives, Country Music, Royal Families, Diddy Blake Lively, Game Shows, Hot Videos, Sports, NFL, College Football, MLB, NASCAR, IndyCar, NBA, NHL, Golf, Tennis, FIFA World Cup, 26, UFC, WWE, Lifestyle, Maha, Health, Travel, Food and Drink, Games and Quizzes, Deals, Fox Business, Personal Finance, Economy, Markets, Watch List, Lifestyle Real Estate, Tech, Science and Tech, Air and Space, Security, Innovation, Video Games, Military Tech, Planet Earth, Wild Nature. Games 5, Across the Letter Word Game, Downwards, Sudoku, Word Swap, Word Search, Icon Match, Daily Crossword Puzzle, Mini Crossword Puzzle, Watch Live, Fox News Shows, Programming Schedule, On-Air Personalities, Full Episodes, Show Clips, News Clips, About, Contact Us, Careers, Fox Around the World, Advertise with Us, Media Relations, Corporate Information, Compliance, Apps and Products, Fox News Go, Fox Weather, Fox Nation, Fox Noticias, Fox News Shop, Fox News Radio, Outkick, Newsletters, Podcasts, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Flipboard, LinkedIn, Slack, RSS, Newsletters, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Fox News, Terms of Use, Privacy Policy, Your Privacy Choices, Closed Caption Policy, Help, Contact Us, Accessibility Statement, Sitemap. This material may not be published, broadcast, rewritten, or redistributed. Signed 2025, Fox News Network, LLC, all rights reserved. Quotes displayed, in real time or delayed by at least 15 minutes. Market data provided by FactSet. Powered and implemented by FactSet Digital Solutions. Legal statement. Mutual fund and ETF data provided by Refinitiv Lipper. President Donald Trump's vision for a new Middle East is facing challenges from critics who who are calling for an end to the Israel-Hamas war and recognition of a Palestinian state. Despite efforts by Trump and his Republican Party to stand firm against Western pressure, many on the left in the West want to prolong the status quo in the region, which would only serve to keep the conflict going forever. Trump has acknowledged the suffering in Gaza, but believes that without the release of hostages and surrender of Hamas, Israel cannot stand down. He understands that the Israeli people will not end this war and wait to be attacked again, and with his support, Israel will finish this fight. The Department of Justice has revealed that 2 law enforcement witnesses testified in the grand juries for both Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell's sex trafficking cases. An FBI agent and a New York Police Department detective provided testimony in front of the grand juries in 2019 and 2020, respectively. The DOJ is seeking to unseal the grand jury transcripts, citing public interest in the cases. Maxwell is currently serving a 20-year prison sentence for her involvement in Epstein's sex trafficking scheme, targeting underage girls. The watermelon-only diet trend on TikTok has raised health concerns among experts, who warn that eating only watermelon for days can lead to muscle loss and electrolyte imbalances. Dr. Mark Hyman, a Texas-based physician, stated that the diet is not sustainable and can backfire on your health. Los Angeles-based dietitian-nutritionist Alana Molstein noted that while watermelon has detoxifying effects, eating only it for days can cause muscle loss due to its low protein content. Experts recommend incorporating watermelon into a balanced diet or trying other detoxifying foods like cucumbers. Denver Broncos head coach Sean Payton compared linebacker Dre Greenlaw to boxing legend Mike Tyson, praising his physicality and intensity on the field. Greenlaw signed a 3-year deal with the Broncos in the offseason after 6 years with the San Francisco 49ers. He played 2 games for the 49ers last season as he recovered from a torn Achilles suffered in Super Bowl 58. The Broncos begin the season on September 7th at home against the Tennessee Titans. New York Police Department, NYPD, Chief of Department John Chell has described the recent Manhattan shooting as mayhem after a gunman killed 4 people, including an NYPD officer and father of 2. The incident occurred on July 28, 2025, at a Midtown Manhattan skyscraper. According to Chell, the crime scene was horrible, with multiple casualties in the lobby, including one of his officers, Officer Islam. The shooter, identified as Shane Tamura, had a possible motive linked to a 2013 Frontline documentary on chronic traumatic encephalopathy, CTE. NYPD officials were put on high alert when Tamura entered the skyscraper and gunned down 4 people before being killed by police. Chell indicated that the timing could have been worse, as there were minimal people in the building at the time due to safe rooms and emergency protocols. The incident has left the community shaken, with many expressing concern over the rise of violence in urban areas.